Today, we're talking about the closing. So stay tuned. We'll be right back and we're going into how the closing works. All right, so we've covered so much information for the whole buyer process. Today, we're going to talk about how a real estate closing works and what you need to know before you walk into it as a buyer. So throughout the whole process, once you have a contract, that contract gets sent to the lender. They're working on putting your financials together. You're sending them documents after documents after documents. And finally, once they've completed everything that they need, they send it to an underwriter. The underwriter looks at everything and says, you know what, this buyer is good. They sign off on it, and you get what's called a clear to close. Now, 3 days before your closing, the lender is going to send you some disclosures. You need to sign off that you've received them, send them back same day so you don't delay the closing process, because federal law requires you to have 3 days to review those documents before you can close on the property. So you've received your disclosures, you sent them back. Now you need to contact the attorney's office for their wiring instructions. Usually the attorney's going to reach out to you and give them to you. You will then wire the funds required to close to their account. Now, when you're wiring, cyber fraud is a major issue right now. What happens is people will, if somebody gets into your email address, they will monitor emails for anything related to wiring. Then what they'll do is they'll send wire instructions to you from an email that looks like it's from the attorney's office. Always, always, always call the attorney's office, find an outside phone number, Google their address, call the number that they have on Google, and verify that the account number and the routing number are accurate before you wire the funds. Because what happens in the cyber fraud is that they will send you wire instructions that look almost identical to the closing attorney's instructions, but it will have their account number, not the attorney's. If you wire your money to the wrong account, it's almost impossible to get back. So please, before you make any wires, make sure you call an independent number for the company and verify that the instructions are correct. Once you've wired your money, you usually do this the day before. You're also going to do a walkthrough of the property. You'll usually meet your agent at the property, and we will walk you through. We'll make sure that there has been no damage caused to the house during the seller's move out. Once you've verified that everything's good, all the work that the seller has had to do on the property, anything that you've negotiated in your amendment to address concerns earlier in the contract, all of those things you make sure that they're addressed so that when you go to the closing attorney's office, either immediately from the walkthrough or the next morning after, whenever the closing is scheduled for, everything's done. Then at the closing, you're going to sign your loan documents. It has to be in blue ink. You will sign your loan documents. You will make sure that your home warranty is paid for. You'll make, if you have one, anything that's negotiated in the contract, you'll make sure it's taken care of at that closing table. Once everything's signed, the attorney will disperse all the funds. So they'll collect the funds from you and the lender, and then they will disperse those funds to the seller after the closing. The seller will usually give you the keys to the property at the closing, and then from there, after you leave the attorney's office, it usually takes anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. You'll leave the attorney's office and you will be a homeowner. So that's how a closing works. If you have any questions about the process, about what forms you sign, you let us know. We'll be happy to sit down with our attorney and create a video for you in the future answering any questions that you have specifically related to the closing. If you have any questions, again, let us know. Drop a comment below. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you ring the bell so you get notified when we release a new video. And stay tuned, because on the next video, we're going to talk about things you can do as a homeowner.